Hi guys! Welcome to Amber Talks, and today I'm standing in the middle of a battlefield. I'm actually standing at Freedom Park in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is where one of the places, at least, where the Battle of Atlanta happened. I'm going to walk over to the northwest corner to show you one of the main reasons that this is one of my favorite places in Atlanta. So here we are at this major signpost that says this is the spot where it began Sherman's march to the sea. This is on the corner of Moreland and North Highland, and it's a lot busier corner of the park, as you can see and hear. So I'm going to walk a little bit eastward, the same direction that Sherman's forces marched after they had taken Atlanta in the Civil War. So I'm walking into the park. There's not many people around, but you can just imagine what it would have looked like with nothing around but hills and trees and brush, and a total of over 35,000 Union forces encamped right here, between here and 2 miles south. That would have been exactly where the Battle of Atlanta happened. Down there in East Atlanta, 2 miles south of here, is where the battle actually started, but the Union forces came as far this way and a little bit even further. So this was on every battlefield map that you can find in the Library of Congress is going to say that this is exactly where all of these men once stood. This was a major battle for Atlanta in the Civil War. They had 40,000 Confederate troops lined up against the men here, and even with the lesser army, the Union had a victory in this battle, was able to take Atlanta. Atlanta surrendered to the army, and Sherman set up a capital in Atlanta for about 2 months before they started his famous March to the Sea, which was a total of 300 miles east to Savannah. After they took Milledgeville, which was the original capital of the Confederacy at the time, before they had moved it here to Atlanta. And so if you were taking that march to the sea today, you would be walking about 300 miles in this direction. That's probably a 5-hour drive today, but in those days it took over a month to get there. They were doing everything they could along the way to just forage and not have to take supplies with them. And it was actually Sherman's first sort of plan to go through with, where he had taken the approach of total war. This was destruction, this was stealing, this was everything they could to demoralize the Confederate public, and not just the forces in a proper battlefield fight. This was taking everything they could from the rail lines and bending them and twisting them around trees, which became known as Sherman neckties, to raiding farms that were just before they had gotten there, so that by the time the rest of the army had gotten there, they would have plenty of provisions to spend the night in the ruined buildings. But right here, in the middle of a busy city, you can still find a park where you can walk around and imagine what it would have been like for 30,000 soldiers to be sitting here awaiting the Battle of Atlanta. If you want to know anything more about Freedom Park or the Battle of Atlanta, or other historical notes that I might have mentioned in this video, I'll put some links in the description, so make sure you like and subscribe and share, and thank you for watching.